What's going on, everyone? This is Andy, and as you all know, Animal Crossing has been officially revealed for the Nintendo Switch. It's coming next year in 2019. I'm super excited. Animal Crossing has always been a fan favorite franchise for me, my brother, and a few of my friends, especially one of my best friends. We have loved the game so much. We're really happy that the game's announced, and I'm honestly surprised it's taken me this long to make an Animal Crossing video on this channel. But all that being said, I wanted to go over my top 5 features that I want to see in the new Animal Crossing game. Now, this is kind of just me thinking of 5 things recently, so I'm not saying this is like a definitive list forever for me of my top 5 things I want to see, but these are just 5 features I think would be really cool that if we did see in the future Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch. So let's jump right in. First off, better online. Just a seamless, hopefully almost like an always connected online component to the game. Now, I'm not saying that I want the game to require you to have an internet connection. Obviously not. This is going to be on the Switch, so a lot of times you might be playing in a car or something like that where you obviously don't have an internet connection. But I think that online has been, I wouldn't say it's been handled poorly at all in previous entries. In fact, New Leaf did it rather well. But I think it's starting to get a bit archaic. You have to go all the way to either the town hall or a New Leaf, like the train station, to open your gates. I feel like it's just a little bit long of a process as it needs to be. In this new Animal Crossing game, we should just have cell phones. Seriously, your character should just carry around a cell phone, and you just pull up a friends list, and you call them, and you just invite them to your town, and boom, they just show up in your town. You can still have the train station, definitely keep the train station in there, and you can see your friends come in through the train station. They always come in through there every time they enter your town. But the actual process of inviting and letting them into your town should really just be pulling up your phone and just dealing with that. You shouldn't have to go all the way to Porter just to get that done. Now, granted, I love seeing Porter, so that will be a little upsetting not seeing him. But, like, you'll see him every time you go in and out of someone else's town. I just think that needs to... I feel like this is just something that should be done. I don't know. I feel like the online can definitely be structured a bit better. In addition to that, I also hope that there is almost like an online hub area. Like, I think it'd be really cool. You know how they have not the city and city folk, but how they have the town plaza? What I would want is for them to have an always like that. I'm not saying, once again, not saying you need to be online to enter this area, but whenever you enter that area, all your friends would be there too. Like, it would be, if you are connected to the internet, then everyone, it would be like a little mini online hub for you and your friends, and potentially maybe even a few random people, who knows. And in addition, you might just make the town area a bit bigger too. I just want online to be a lot more seamless. They don't need to add a ton more functionality with it. I mean, they could go crazy with adding more functionality if they really wanted to, but I want everything to be really seamless. I want it to feel like it's actually integrated in the game. I'm not losing any experience or going my way to invite my friends to my town. I want it to just feel like it's a natural part of the game. And yeah, and I feel like we might get that, because this is the first HD system for Animal Crossing, and it's 2018, so it feels weird saying that. This is the first time Animal Crossing has been on like a somewhat modern system in a long time, so hopefully they end up giving us a more modern online infrastructure to go along with the game. So number 2, I hope that we see careers in this game. I'm not saying that you should be locked into one career. So you're like, oh, I want to become a fisherman so I can only fish and nothing else. I'm not saying that, obviously. You can do as many careers as you want. You can just completely neglect other careers. That's the point of Animal Crossing. It gives you the freedom to do what you want to do. Like, think about every core activity in Animal Crossing. Everything from fishing, bug catching. You can create like patterns and stuff like that. What if you could become an artist and open up your own, not like art museum, but your own art shop? What if you could become a fashion designer and either make your own clothing shop or maybe get it featured in the Able Sisters or something like that? What if you could open up like not an aquarium because there's already the museum, but what if you could open up your own like fish store? Like, there's so many things I think would be really cool for them to do. What if you could open up your own like computer to Tom Nooks? Like, I know that there is already the auction, like you can already do the auction house, but being able to open up your own shops and basically utilize a lot of these other activities are already like core foundations in the Animal Crossing series, but be able to profit from them and progress through the game further. I mean, obviously, you're always progressing by like catching fish and stuff like that, by filling the museum out and just getting more bells if you sell them. This would be a more unique way of doing it. Third, I want to see more activities with your villagers. So when you talk to a villager, like, I feel like there's not really a lot that can happen. Like, you just talk to your villager and your friends, and they'll be like, oh, hi, like, and they always have their pre-established quotes and stuff like that, depending on, like, the genre of person that they are. But one thing that's always bothered me is that whenever For example, when you go to your like when you have a villager come to your house, there is nothing that happens. Like they just sit there and you just watch them walk around your house. If you talk to them enough time, no, if you're at their house, you can buy things from their house. But when they're in your house, I forget if there's like anything like notable that can happen. And it's just a little strange. So I really hope they add more interactivity between a lot of the events that you do with your villagers. Like if I have a villager come to my house, I don't know, maybe like a mini game can be played, or I can try to sell them stuff. I hope that when you visit their houses, other things happen other than just being able to, like, I don't want when a villager tells me to come over their place for me to be like, oh, I have to go to raise my friendship with them. I forget if that even affects your friendship with them, but I'm pretty sure it does. I've always thought it did at least. But I'm like, now I need to do this for what? Just the ability to buy an item that I don't even care about in their house. Like, I want more activities to do in them. And even just generally just speaking with your villagers, I hope that maybe they can make more actual dialogue selections. So instead of just asking how they are and generating a random response, maybe they could have something where you actually ask them to do something or you set up an event. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there, but I feel like instead of making it so when you interact with a villager, it's a complete random thing that happens. I'm not saying I don't like talking, like obviously I like talking to them and seeing what they have to say. That's like part of the game, but giving you a little bit more control over what could potentially happen wouldn't be a bad thing. I just want to see more activities. Like I really like the fact that they added the hide and seek mode in, was that added in City Folk or New Leaf? I haven't played City Folk in so long. I don't remember if it was in that game or not. I know for a fact it was in New Leaf, but add more stuff like that. That was fun, and make them happen more often. Like I feel like the what is it, the hide and seek thing? Like I feel like that only happened like once every like week or two. So it'd be cool if they added more mini games. Maybe you have like, you know how they have fishing tournaments? What if every now and then you just talk to a villager and they said, let's see who can catch the biggest fish today or something? I think a little bit more competition or activity, and give higher rewards for doing specific tasks with your villager. They asked to have a fishing tournament, make it so maybe you each bet like 5,000 bells or something like that so that you can get a better payoff. In fact, you can make the rewards even higher for all that matter. Another thing, like this isn't actually one of the things I want to see, but I loved how we had the island return in New Leaf, but I also felt like it made it OP in terms of catching fish. You could go to the island and make like 40,000 bells, if not like give or take X amount within just one trip. They could tone that down a little bit, make it a little bit more difficult to find like some of the summer fish. But I mean, other than that, like I said, I just want to see more activities and more dialogue options, and more things to do with your villagers, other than just very, very generic things that we've seen in previous games. Fourth, I want to see multiple locations. As I just brought up, New Leaf did let us return to the island a similar island that we saw in the GameCube version. But what if the island from New Leaf, what if that came back, but it was bigger and you had your own house there, just like you had in the GameCube version? In fact, what if they made like multiple areas you could go to? Like obviously your village is the main part, but they can make different areas entirely. You could have like a mountain house, you could have like a beach house. In fact, another thing is, what if you could have multiple villages? Now, obviously, like I know that might sound crazy, but what if once you play the game for a certain amount of time and maybe once you've generated X amount of gold into your town, you could expand your village. I just thought of that randomly right now. Like, what if you could do that? What if you could add an extension to your village? And I mean, they have been getting to the point where they've been adding more management stuff in this game, because obviously with all the public work projects that they offered since you were the mayor of New Leaf, I would dig that if they made it so you can extend areas, or you go to different areas, you can have your own house there, and you could also put public work projects there. Certain public work projects can only be put on the island as opposed to just being on the village or something like that. I feel like they should experiment with either different locales or expanding your village and making it larger. Because then what if you could actually have more characters, more villagers stay in your town the bigger your town is? So let's just say you start with a village and it can only house 8 people. But you keep expanding it, you can get up to like maybe even 20 villagers or something. I'd love to see that. Also, another location they could have, like I said, they could have like a mountain house. They could have like, there's already the campsite, so what if they had like a little like, cabin house, like a mountain house, a cabin house, a beach house. There's so many cool things they could do. I really hope they experiment with that. I'm probably thinking way too grand scale. It's probably not going to be that ambitious, but I don't know. I'd like to see it. And last but not least, I want to see, and this is building off of my last point, but I want to see bigger towns with more public work projects. So, like I said, I did already talk about this a bit with just the previous number 4 spot, but I feel like the towns are getting, like we can add so many public work projects in New Leaf, and we're getting so much town customization features that they're only going to expand them from this point. They're going to add new public work projects. Regardless if we end up being the mayor or not, they're going to give you the ability to do that. Like, it would be stupid to go backwards instead of forwards. So what I would really like to see is, like I said, bigger towns, make it so the towns are naturally bigger. Like I said before, if we can expand them, that would be awesome. But also give us more unique public work projects. And in fact, give us a lot of public work projects with actual interactivity. I mean, obviously everything like bridges you can interact with because you can walk on them. But I mean, one of the public work projects, you can get like the Reset Center. You could get the Brewster Cafe. There are so many things that I think would be really cool that if they added like more shops, and make new ones entirely too. Like if you could just keep adding shops and stuff to your town, and just like the Brewster thing, what if you could work part-time at those places? What if you could just play mini games and stuff there? I really hope that they go really all out with not just more public work projects, but bigger public work projects with more interactivity. That'd be neat. So let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see in the new Animal Crossing. These are just 5 things that I would really like to see. There are probably even more I could come up with, but for the sake of making this video not super long, I restricted to me just thinking of 5. But like I said, let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see. Let me know if you guys want to see more Animal Crossing content, because I am a huge Animal Crossing fan. I'm super excited for the Switch entry. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, as this is a relatively new channel. And yeah, it's going to cover it for now. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.